Domo and otsukare-sama. What's up, guys? Good evening from Osaka, Japan, specifically Namba in Osaka, downtown Osaka in Kansai, Japan. Thanks for tuning in to yet another episode of Otsukare Sake, also known as Happy Hour. So, guys, today I got a pretty cool can of beer. Asahi, as you can see, means morning sun in Japanese. It's like one of the most popular brands, like the most popular brand of beer in Japan, like as far as Japanese beer. Think about it as the Japanese Budweiser, but it tastes better. Sorry, Budweiser fans, I'm not really a fan of Budweiser, but to each their own. Anyway, Asahi is not bad. It's not the best, but it's drinkable. But what's really cool about this can is what's called the awa. And awa means suds in Japanese. It gets pretty messy though, so I'll give you a little presentation in a little bit. But first, happy Monday or happy Sunday. Yeah, happy Monday. I think it's Monday across the whole world. It's Monday evening here. It's about 9:20, about 5 minutes to 9:20. I just got off of work. My job gets off pretty late. We get off at 9 p.m. Monday through Thursday. And yeah, I just thought I'd pop in right quick and see how everyone is doing. I hope for all my people across the world who are just starting their Monday that you guys have a great Monday. Hope it's not too stressful at work, and I hope you have a great week. But if it's nighttime where you are and you're off of work, let's have a drink. Let's kanpai. All right, guys. So let me show you guys what's so special about this. So it's this particular beer, this can is called Nama Joki Kan. So Nama means draft, like draft beer. Joki is basically it's like a pint, like the glass that you use to drink a pint of beer, right? Kan, which is this kanji, just means can, but it's pronounced kan. All right, you guys ready? 3, 2, 1. Oh, look at that, look at that. So that's the awa I was talking about, but it gets pretty messy to drink. The tab, I can't take the tab off. Ah, dang it. Ooh, there we go. All right. Cheers, guys. Kanpai. Ah, there we go. It's not bad. I think this can is actually better than the regular canned Asahi. I'm not really such a fan of canned beer. I prefer it in a glass, like the Joki. Of course, it tastes better, but this one actually does taste pretty similar to like the draft beer you would get at like an izakaya, which is like a Japanese pub. It's just messy. Yeah, cheers. Ah, good stuff. So, I don't really have a topic I want to talk about, but I was kind of thinking about, my hands are messy. This month, March, I believe probably mid-March, the Japanese government is finally kind of getting more lenient, and I wouldn't say there's a mask mandate in Japan per se. It's more so like a mask suggestion, but a while ago the Japanese government had basically said you don't have to wear a mask outside anymore. However, wherever you go in Japan, especially in Tokyo, you will see that most people outside are still wearing masks. It's pretty normal here in Japan. Part of the reason why is because even before the corona situation happened, people here had a habit of wearing masks simply due to hay fever, or during the colder months, the colder seasons, people got sick, and wearing a mask either prevented other people from catching a cold or the flu, or protected them from catching a cold or the flu. But I have noticed that even here in Japan, like you'll have people driving in their car, like by themselves, and they'll still be wearing a mask, or you'll see people walking along the street and there will be no one else around them, but they're still wearing a mask. And maybe some of you guys who have been traveling through Japan, for those of you who live here, I'm sure you know why, which I'm going to talk about later. But for those traveling through Japan, you might be wondering, what's up with the mask? Why do people still wear masks here? Whereas probably in your country, especially if you're from the West, you're probably moved on from mostly wearing masks. I'm sure some people still do, especially in crowded or public spaces. But overall, it's a thing of the past. Corona is no longer news. We've moved on. There's bigger and probably worse things, unfortunately, like war. But let's not get into that. We're going to keep it light here. Good vibes only. Anyway, well, part of the reason that people still wear masks here is not just a health thing. It's a social thing. And the Japanese, for one, are very risk averse. When it comes to corona, even though the world has mostly moved on, people still have a fear of the virus. And in Japan, it's better safe than sorry. Like I said, people are very risk averse, and just in case, people still wear masks. The other reason, like I said, the social issue is people don't like to stand out here. I'll give you an example. There was a poll that was taken about how people feel about taking their mask off. I just read this the other day on the NHK News, and they had interviewed some junior high school students. One of the junior high school students said that she had gotten so used to wearing a mask that she felt uncomfortable or maybe embarrassed or shy about taking her mask off. She had been wearing it for so long that suddenly taking her mask off and showing her true face, in Japanese called sugao, basically your plain face without makeup, without a mask, your real face. It was embarrassing for her. And part of Japanese culture is standing out is not really seen as a good thing here. And there's a Japanese expression. It goes, deru kugi wa utareru. Deru kugi wa utareru. It means the nail that sticks up gets hammered down. Whereas in my country, America, it seems to be the exact opposite. Everyone and their mother and their dog wants to stand out. In fact, if you don't stand out, you're not really, I guess, recognized by other people. It's a very different culture here. Not passing judgment on any culture at all, but just talking about the differences between Japan and other places. Me personally, no, I don't agree with it. I don't think there's a need to wear a mask outside, and I stand out enough as it is. I'm a black dude in Japan, and I speak Hiroshima band. Of course I stand out. But when you grow up as a Japanese person in Japan, there's a specific type of pressure that Japanese people experience that a foreigner won't. So in the foreigner community here, we have this joke, this running joke. We say gaijin card, gaijin gado. It means foreigner card. So basically when a foreigner makes a mistake, or when they just don't feel like abiding by the rules of Japan, we'll say, oh, I'll take out my foreigner card, which means, oh, I'm a stupid foreigner. I don't really know what's going on in Japan. I don't know Japanese culture, so please forgive me. But when you're a Japanese person, you are expected to know Japanese culture, abide by Japanese manners, abide by Japanese rules, and don't stand out. It's ingrained in you from a young age. And along these 3 years, I think it's been 3 years, right, that the pandemic has been taking place across the world, life here has changed a lot. People have kept their masks, and it's become a kind of social armor to help them from standing out. Also for women, Japanese women are very, when they go out, they could be going to the convenience store. They always dress up. They put on makeup, high heels, a dress, a skirt. Very fashionable ladies, and I respect that. That's cool. I like that. I love a feminine woman. But for Japanese women, wearing a mask is a way to go outside without being pressured to wear makeup. So they can cover this part of their face, and you can still see their eyes. So there's been this recent trend in Japan where because women don't show their true face or their whole face, they're seen as attractive just by their eyes. So it just allows people to kind of navigate the world around them without standing out too much. Again, not my cup of tea. I don't think it's necessary, but just giving you guys a reason, a breakdown as to why people still wear masks here. Another reason is because, well, this is my own opinion, Japan's an aging population, an elderly population. Unfortunately, the birth rate here is very low. It's getting lower by the year. And most of the population here consists of elderly people. And elderly people are the most at risk for coronavirus and other diseases, other viruses as well. The fact that Japanese people also care much about their environment, about the people around them, they don't want to cause what they call meiwaku, which is a nuisance. So in regards to that and thinking about that, because there's so many old people around them, they don't want to cause a nuisance, or they don't want to be a risk to the elderly people around them. So I think that's also a reason why masks are such a big deal here. Now, as far as people wearing them in a car, I don't really get that part. Maybe it's just become a habit here. Wait, let me take one sip of this beer. I realize I'm not drinking anything. Hold on. Oh, that's good. Oh man, I haven't had this in a while. Anyway, yeah, I'm not sure why people wear masks in the car, but they do. And if they want to do that, live and let live, do what you want. But yes, I just want to break down the reasons why. It's not just a health concern, it's a social concern. Standing out here is not really celebrated. It's not really frowned upon, but in Japanese schools, when people are growing up, they're taught almost subconsciously to go along with the flow, to not rock the boat. And when I was teaching in Japanese schools, high school, junior high school, this was way before Corona. This is when I first got here. I noticed that some of the kids, especially the girls, the very first time I had class with them, up until the time my bad, just burping all over the place. Sorry. Anyway, the first time I met some of these girls, up until the last day I was at the school, I had never seen their face. I never knew what they looked like. I'd only seen their eyes, you know? And it was at that moment, even before Corona, that I started realizing that, wow, people here really don't like to stand out, especially younger people. There's a younger generation these days, not just here in Japan, but worldwide. Generation Z. I've been talking about this a lot with my students at Eikaiwa. The younger kids, the younger Japanese kids in Japan, they are very different from maybe my generation and older people who are watching this. The olden days in Japan, like the Showa era, back in the 80s, the 70s, like right after World War II, it was a very, very strict society, and it still is. But parents and teachers were a lot stricter with their kids, stricter, to the point where even sometimes it came to physical blows against the kids. You know, take that how you will, but that's just the level of strictness that Japan used to have. These days, it's the exact opposite. Teachers, obviously they're not allowed to hit students, but they have to be very careful about what they say, how they treat the students. The reason why is because the parents here are very quick to get on the school, to sue the school for any even hint of abuse or hint of strictness from the teachers. So these days, teachers are actually pretty scared of the parents. And there's this trend the last couple of years where parents are called monster parents because they just pressure the teachers so much. And the teachers are not really able to do much. They're not able to control the classrooms as much as they used to. So this newer generation, they're a lot, let's say, softer than older generations. On the other hand, they're also more focused on their own personal freedom. One of my students told me that back in the day, like in the 90s, there was this popular singer called Namie Amuro. She was a popular J-pop singer back in the 90s. In the 90s and basically up into the 2000s, if you went to any Japanese school, most of the kids would all be listening to the same artists and the same music. You'd have your niche kids here and there listening to like Glay or like, I don't know, maybe X-Japan, but for the most part, people listen to the same J-pop. But I heard that these days, with Generation Z, everyone has their own tastes. Everyone listens to their own thing. Everyone has their own thing. Everyone kind of beats to their own drum. Is that how we say that in English? Walks to their own drum? I don't know. I can't remember the expression. Basically, everyone is their own person. But what comes with that is still that fear of standing out. So I've noticed that with a lot of the Japanese kids that I've taught, they don't have a lot of confidence. They're very internal. They have a lot that's going on in their mind and their head, but they don't know how to get things out. Oh, Miku-chan, happy Monday! Oh, what's up? Otsukare. Miku-chan is one of my best friends. She recently showed her boyfriend around Tokyo, I think, and some other places. I hope he had a good time. And yeah, so like I was saying, Generation Z, the younger kids here, they're very internal. Even their posture is they're kind of hunched forward like this, and I can just tell that they don't really have much confidence in themselves. They don't know how to express themselves and communicate, face to face. Ots, yao. いや、今、ごめん、日本語。突然。 今、難波だよ。居酒屋の後ろ。なんかバスセンターの、バス乗り場の辺。今、ビール飲んでるよ、ビール。お疲れ、乾杯。今日あまり日本語喋れなくてごめんな。なんか、急に日本語喋れなくなる時あるよ。で、最近ね、なぜかわかんないけど、あんまり日本語喋れんのは。理解できるけどね。でも喋るたびに、なんか噛んだり、詰まったりする言葉めちゃくちゃ多いわ。今、喋ってるけど、なんか今日授業でさ、トライアルレッスンがあって、わけわかんないけど、言葉出てこない。もう6年半日本に住んでるのに、なんでかな、なんかもうストレス溜まってるかもしれんけど、今日のバイブズはね、なんか英語のバイブズがいいかなと思って、So now I'm speaking English. Yeah, that's why I haven't really spoken much Japanese. But anyway, I go back to my point that Japan is a society where individuality is sometimes hard to express, sometimes hard to keep. Take that as you will. That has its pros and its cons. Part of the reason Japan is such a harmonious society is because people follow the rules. They value doing the same thing. As an American, that makes me a little uncomfortable. I have to admit, I've never gotten used to that, and I've never really agreed with that in Japanese culture, but that's fine. There's going to be places that you go to that just don't vibe with you for some reason, and no place is perfect. But if you do travel here to Japan, you might notice that a lot of people are wearing masks. However, I think next week, it might be March 15th, don't quote me on that. I think that might be official mask off day. I'm going to be honest with you, I don't really wear a mask. If I go somewhere and I'm told to put on a mask, of course I will. I don't just want to be a jerk for no reason. But you might get stares if you're not wearing a mask. So just be aware of that. And we'll see what happens. I'm interested in seeing what some tourists might think of the cherry blossoms here. Apparently the cherry blossoms are blooming right now. One of my friends showed me some pictures. She lives in Yokohama, I think. So they should be here in Osaka too. Hopefully I can go with some friends to look at some cherry blossoms soon. And cherry blossoms are very beautiful. They're only here for a short moment in a very poetic way. Here for a moment, here for today, gone tomorrow. That's life. Just a whisper, just a breath. Anyway, I've been yapping for about 18 minutes and I need to go home. I'm also hungry. So let me let you guys go. 今日も見てくれてありがとうございます。And thank you very ございます。ごめん、今日はあまり日本語、なくてさ。でもね、今度の、次回、もしその日本語のバイズがあったらね、また日本語話そう。ね。どうせ今日は、リスニングプラクティスになったかな。英語のリスニング、ちょっと、鍛えてなら、わしゃ嬉しいわな。じゃあ、また今度。I'll see you guys next time. Bye, Miku. Take care. All right. Y'all have a good night. Have a good Monday. And have a good week. God bless. And I'll see you later. Peace.